Some say that our God is not very pleasant to look at. In most of the images and pictures of Jesus, he looks very serious, very pathetic. Even the pictures of Sacred Heart, there is no warmth, smile on his face. Especially those who are from other faiths, our Hindu brethren and all that, they say this actually. Why is your God very serious looking? Even when you say Sacred Heart, the emotions of love, but his face does not express any love, even Divine Mercy picture. So these are the questions people ask sometimes. In fact, if you look into our Hindu brethren, their gods and goddesses, their images are full of emotions, high emotions actually. We have Saraswati, the dancing god, the smiling goddess. We have Nataraja, Shiva, dancing god. We have Krishna playing the flute, playing god. You find all the human emotions, Navarasas, among our Hindu brethren, gods and goddesses. But when we look at our God, no emotions, no smile, a serious face. We need to go beyond our images and statues of our God to really understand the real God in the Word. So these images and statues at times may not give us the full picture of God. The full picture of God, full understanding of the God is in the scriptures. And you will find that in today's readings, the first reading especially, and the gospel reading. And there you will find our God is full of human emotions. Full of human emotions. And those human emotions are positive emotions, very good emotions. They are very human actually, which you may not find sometimes in the images and statues of our God, especially Jesus. Now, what do you find in these readings of the first reading and the gospel when we celebrate the feast, the solemnity of the most Sacred Heart of Jesus? And the feast is focused and centered on the human side of Jesus, the humanity of Jesus. And when we think about and look at the humanity of Jesus, the human emotion should emerge. And that emerges in the Feast of Sacred Heart. May not be in the picture of the face of God, but in the face of God, of the face of the readings of today. That is the first reading and the gospel reading. Let me put it across to you, the real image of our God on this day. From an ABC formula for easy to remember, what is this Sacred Heart we reflect about today on this day? We can see three beautiful human side of this Sacred Heart in the first reading and the gospel reading. The first point I would like to say is our God is affectionate. It's an affectionate heart. When we look at the Sacred Heart, this Sacred Heart is affectionate heart. What do I mean by affectionate heart? Look at the first readings. Very beautiful reading, very touching and very adorable and lovable reading of the Hosea, where God is comparing himself as a parent, very lovable father or mother. How does he say that one? He says, I led my child out of Egypt. I led my child out of Egypt. And this God says, I loved him. I fed him. Affectionate heart. And this God says, I have the heart of young lovers. And that is the energetic, bubbling love of our God. A God who really loved the Israel like a parent or like even any young lover. This is the affectionate heart. And you will find this in the Gospels where Jesus says, the good shepherd, I am gentle and humble of heart. And these are all human side of affectionate side of the heart of Jesus. Come to me, I am gentle and humble in my heart, lowly in my heart. And the Psalm 22 or 23, which we reflected during the responsorial Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. He is my by side. He feeds me. So this is our God. Very affectionate, very lovable with the human side. And that's why we say this love is not unnatural love. This love is not abstract love. This love is visceral love. What is visceral love? Visceral love is opposite of this intellectual love and abstract type of love. Very emotional love. Exactly like lovers have their love for each other. Very emotional, very sentimental. This is the sacred heart we need to understand. A God who really loves us, who really pours out his love for us. And that's a symbol of fire, burning with love for us. The real, energetic, enthusing love for each one of us. The second trait of this heart is benevolent heart. What is the meaning of benevolent heart? Benevolent means very gentle, merciful. We have in the Gospels this trait of Jesus in the symbols of water and blood. When the soldier pierced the side of Jesus, water and blood flowed. And these are the symbols of mercy of God. How do we know water and blood as symbols of mercy of God? If you look at the divine mercy picture, highly symbolic, you will find the red rays and white rays. The red rays symbolizes from the heart of Jesus the blood, white rays the water. And that is the symbol of mercy. So this blood and water are symbols of mercy and also symbols of grace of God through the baptism, 3 sacraments. Baptism, we are cleansed by water, and we have a Eucharist where the blood of Christ also absolves from all our sins, and the beautiful reconciliation service where we are forgiven. So this blood and water indicates the complete benevolence of God, mercy of God, and that is the real sacred heart. A heart really forgives and forgets all our sins. And that is what we heard in the readings of today. A heart really forgives in the first reading. No, he says, I am not like a man from the other side of anger and wrath. I forgive. I forgive my child, Israel. So that is a benevolent heart. Third trait of heart is caring heart. Where do you find the caring heart? In the first readings again. Where is this caring? A heart that cares for the people. A heart that accompanies and walks with the people. And you have beautiful expressions in the first reading where God says, I walked with them. I stooped down or I bent down to feed them. And I raised them up to growth to a mature level. So this is a God who was ever with the people of Israel, walking with them, caring for them, feeding them, and raising them up. Means helping them to grow up into a mature adulthood. That is our God, always concerned and caring for the people. This is our affectionate and benevolent and caring heart. Mother Teresa of Calcutta used to say this way. She says this. She says, by birth, I am an Albanian. By citizenship, I am an Indian. By faith, I am a Catholic nun. But as for my calling, I belong to the whole world. And as for my heart, I belong to the most sacred heart of Jesus. These are the words of Saint Mother Teresa. The heart of Christianity is the heart of Christ. And without the heart of Christ, Christianity does not exist.